Why is he in jail today? He has stood for secularism, he has stood for workers' rights, for farmers' rights. Friends and comrades, first of all, I must express my regret that I cannot speak in Tamil, so I will have to speak in English. Uh, Comrade Nagarajan mentioned that Bharati Puttakalayam has published many books that were originally done in English by Leftward and have been translated into Tamil. But this is the first time that I'm present for the launch of such a book, and I'm very pleased about that. But the person who should have been present here is not here, and that is Comrade Probir Purkayastha. At Leftward, we have published a number of books by him. Leftward began its journey in 1999, and soon after that, around 2000 2001, we published the first book that he was a co-author of, which was a book on the Enron deal and that whole thing. After that, we published a book by him in which again he was a co-author, which was a critique of the nuclear deal. We have published a book of essays that have been edited by him in honor of our dear comrade Amit Sen Gupta, which is a book about the people's health movement and the people's science movement. We have recently published another book by Comrade Probir called Knowledge as Commons. And now this book, his memoirs. Just this very brief sort of bibliography will give you a sense of the very many movements and issues that Probir has been involved with. He's had a very prolific public life of about 50 years, and this public life has been bookended by his two arrests, one in the emergency and one now. Why is he in jail today? He is in jail today because he has stood up and he has spoken up as every citizen of this country should. He is in jail today because he has been a good citizen. He has been part of the students' movement. He has been part of the popular science movement, people's health movement. He has stood for the sovereignty of the country on issues such as patents, on the nuclear deal. He has stood for a scientific and rational approach, the scientific temper. He has stood for secularism. He has stood for workers' rights, for farmers' rights. And all of this has culminated in his founding of NewsClick. And NewsClick has been an incredible media platform, which is, I've seen NewsClick from its very earliest days. It was just a small, tiny basement with two computers. And Probir used to run it with his own personal money. And some of us would go there and do little programs. And then it was his vision that expanded NewsClick, and it was his vision that has driven NewsClick to report on people's struggles. These struggles by farmers, by workers, struggles for secularism, for democracy, and so on and so forth, which do not find a place in the mainstream media at all, especially in the electronic media. And it is true, when we went to the farmer struggles on the outskirts of Delhi, we went to all the sites, and everywhere you could see the anger that the farmers had against the mainstream media, the electronic media, called the Godi media. And if they saw somebody with a camera that looked like a media camera, they would start shouting, Godi media, go away, go away. The journalists with cameras who were welcomed there were NewsClick journalists. And that was because NewsClick was reporting from the ground. They were speaking the truth about what was happening. And if NewsClick videos of that time went viral, got millions of views, it was because the movement on the ground was amplifying what NewsClick was saying, because NewsClick was amplifying what the movement was saying. And this connection between people's movements and the media is something that was conceptualized and put into practice most of all by Comrade Probir. And that is his biggest crime. His crime is that he has stood for values of secularism, democracy, sovereignty, the integrity of this country, and to give voice to those who do not find representation in the mainstream media. That is the reason why he is in jail. And that is the reason why we must all work very hard, not just for Probir, but for all such friends and comrades who are either in jail or are facing all kinds of cases against them. They're being intimidated, harassed daily. If we want to protect the future of this country, if we want to protect democracy, secularism, if we want this country to remain a republic means that every citizen of the country is equally a citizen of the country. The country belongs to each one of us, and each one of us belongs equally to the country. That is what the preamble of our constitution means. That we give to ourselves this constitution. And these are the values that Comrade Probir Porkayastha has upheld for over 50 years of outstanding public service, of being an outstanding citizen of this country. And that is why, from Leftward Books, I am incredibly proud of having published this book and all the previous books that Comrade Probir has been associated with. And I am deeply grateful to Comrade Subbarao for having translated this book in record speed, and to Comrade Nagarajan and other comrades of Bharati Pustakalayam to have published it and brought it out in Tamil. We are hoping that many more translations in other Indian languages will also come. With this, I thank you all.